Ayurveda Lesson 2: Digestion and the 5 Basic Elements. In Ayurveda, the health of the digestive system plays the most important role in our physical and mental health. In other words, the root of all physical and mental diseases can be traced back to the imbalances that has occurred in the GI tract due to malabsorption and maldigestion of the food. As a result, the first step for curing any type of mental and physical disease is bringing the digestive system back to balance. Think of your GI tract. It is a very long tube that starts from your mouth and gradually transforms into your esophagus, stomach, small intestine, colon, and ends at your anus. Imagine this long tube is a boiling pot that contains the food that you have ingested. In next post, you can see a diagram of your digestive tube. All of the 5 basic elements contribute to the digestion process in our GI tract. However, the roles of the fire and water elements are a bit more dominant. The digestion of food in our body is very similar to the process of cooking. When you cook, you put some raw foods like meat, vegetables, and rice inside a pot. Add some water to it, turn the fire on, and give it time to cook. A very similar action takes place in our body. Whatever enters the digestive tube, it should be cooked and digested. Now let's see what is the role of each element in the digestion process. The fire element represents the bile, hydrochloric acid, and various digestive enzymes that our digestive system secretes for breaking up and absorbing the ingested food. It is the fire that we create under our pot when we are cooking. The water element forms the liquid part of saliva, mucus, and mucous membrane of the GI tract, and the earth element thickens these secretions. From the moment that you put the food inside your mouth, your saliva soaks it and transforms it from a rough solid matter to a soft and mushy liquid that is digestible and absorbable. In addition, the mucus of your GI tract surrounds the food and facilitates the function of the digestive enzymes. Imagine your GI tract is a tunnel in which a boat should be moved around. If the tunnel contains water, the boat can easily move inside it. However, if the tunnel is dry, moving the boat will be very hard. Now think of your GI tract. The mucous membrane acts like the water and helps the food to move along the digestive tube easily and smoothly. However, if the mucous membrane dries up for some reason, the digestive tube becomes dry. Even the softest and mushiest foods cannot move easily. As the food is swallowed, simultaneously a lot of air enters the GI tract, and one will experience bloating, flatulence, and burping. The air element acts like the wind in body and moves things around. In general, all of the body functions are accompanied by a series of movements in specific vectors. For example, think of urination or bowel movement. A downward movement occurs in the pelvic area. Or think of menstruation or labor. A downward movement occurs in uterus and vagina. There is also a downward movement in our digestive tube. The air element acts like the wind and moves the food in the GI tract along a downward direction. It moves the ingested food from the mouth to the esophagus, from the esophagus to the stomach, from the stomach to the small intestine, and from the small intestine to the colon. The air element also churns the food and governs the peristaltic movements of the GI tract. The ether element provides the empty space in which the food can be churned and broken down. In order to have an optimal digestion and absorption, one needs to have specific amounts of all the 5 basic elements in his or her GI tract. In other words, if all these elements be present in the digestive tube with their optimal quality and quantity, one will experience optimal digestion, or what Ayurveda calls Sama Agni. If any of these 5 elements increase or decrease too much, our digestion gets ruined, and series of physical and mental disorders will occur.